Welcome to today's exciting moment. Let's take a trip back to this forgotten high-rated domestic film. It said only one copy was sold, deemed by film industry as having near zero domestic distribution. However, it earned 800 million yen in Japan and was hailed as the best foreign film by fans. The original novel was in Japanese textbooks. This story lacks thrilling twists. It features no grand vistas, just a rugged mountain path, a stubborn father and son duo, and a loyal big yellow dog. It may seem ordinary, but it touches everyone's heart. Set in the remote West Mountains of Hunan, China in the 6th, a woman sprained her ankle herding cows and was trapped in a rainstorm. A passing man offered her a ride on a cow, but she wouldn't budge. So he heroically carried her down the mountain as the villagers eyed the lone cow with suspicion, afraid. Instead of worrying about the cow, they couldn't help but laugh at each other. The man was a village surveyor who passed by every so often. From then on, she waited under a tree for him. Love was so simple back then. I think of you, you think of me. No sweet whispers, no grand vows, yet they united, she and Red on their wedding day. The man picked her up on a brand new bike, laughter filling the mountain paths as the couple rode down. Happiness can be fleeting. His job meant they rarely saw each other. Other husbands were like mighty oaks just for their wives, while he was more of a figurative umbrella. He left her with a lot of imagination and endless longing, coming home like a guest in a hotel here today, gone tomorrow. A year later, he had a son. But he could only accompany him on holidays, mostly leaving his wife and son waiting at the village entrance. The man nearly missed his son's entire childhood, leaving the boy feeling like a stranger to him. He barely called him Dad. Whenever the man returned, the son stayed out playing. In reality, the boy missed his dad, but was unsure why he felt afraid. 20 years passed, and the boy grew up. Though still fearful of his dad, had run to greet him on his return. He took the heavy oil pack from his dad, different this time, a big yellow dog followed. The dog named Lao was practically the dad's second son, according to the boy, and seemed to get more affection than him. Even the shortest round trip took 3 days, and after years of hiking, his leg problems were getting worse. He had to retire early when his son failed the college entrance exam. The son chose to be a village surveyor like his dad, not work elsewhere. The father knew the hardship and opposed, but the son insisted, "Mom, you don't understand. It's a government post. It's different than going to work in the city. Someone in our family needs to be a government official." No one understood the hardships of this job better than his father, but he couldn't think of a better candidate than his own son. The night before, he carefully packed his son's oil bag, repeatedly reminded him of road precautions, then decided to go with him the next morning. The father waved goodbye to the mother, saying, "Okay, you can head back now." A casual farewell, but Dad caught himself muttering, "Mom, that sounds so endearing," because he hadn't heard his son call him Dad in ages. The son felt jittery thinking about spending 3 days and nights with his dad. What a long stretch. On the journey, they kept the small distance, especially on a narrow path. When meeting a downhill traveler, the son hesitated. His father laughed, saying, "Yield to those descending uphills easy, downhills hard." While resting in the woods, the father complained while tapping his bad leg. "Seems like I'm paying for nothing. Even the chickens are enjoying better treatment. I've spent so much money in this field, and yet, where's the happiness? Didn't the doctor say you can still be treated in retirement?" "I'm not talking about treatment. Is that what you think?" The son assumed his dad was worried about treatment costs after retirement, but his father had. The father regrets his leg didn't heal. If so, he could keep working. If only he could recover, his son wouldn't have to endure this hardship. After just a few exchanges, the conversation fell flat. The father stood up and said, "Lao." This time, Dad and Lao led the way, while the son took up the oil package, trotting along. Before long, he passed his father, but when he turned around and saw no sign of him, anxiety crept in. So he dropped the package and jumped back to Jack. The father soon found his resting son, but Lao was standing still, tilting his head, staring into the distance. Turns out Dad just had to find. The son sighed with relief upon seeing his father, but Dad scolded him fiercely for leaving the oil package unattended. Soon, father and son arrived at the first village. The son was filled with anticipation, recalling how his father once told him, "It's no big deal if the villagers don't see the county chief for a few days," but the son thought their arrival would cause a sensation in the village. Villagers would warmly welcome us. Dad got his long-awaited letters, smiling in satisfaction, but entering the village, he saw he was wrong. Village committee was deserted, no one around, as if our presence or absence didn't matter. The son felt a bit down looking at the vacant committee as Dad pulled out his pipe while sipping water. Who would be waiting around here for you in broad daylight? I didn't come here for a performance. And where's our grand welcome? The son, growing impatient, noticed the village head hurriedly approaching after hearing loud sparks. Dad introduced his son to the village head, saying his son would now take over this route. The village head thought Dad was promoted, but Dad just smiled. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel.